Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk a little bit about volume of prisms. Now, there is a formula for volume of a prism, and that formula is given as V is equal to B times H, where B is our area of the base. Now, mind you, there is a general formula that you might see, like V is equal to LWH. However, I find that using the formula of V equals B times H is just one formula that I have to remember, not just for prisms, but also for cylinders. And we're going to talk about that in another video as well. So let's go ahead and look at our example. So here we have a prism, and the formula that we are commonly used to seeing is V is equal to LWH, which is pretty much just the length times the width times the height. So in this case, our length is 2 inches, our width is 1 inch, and our height of our prism is 4 inches. So you would just go ahead and substitute that into the formula. 2 times 1 times 4, and that's going to be equal to 8 cubic inches. Now let's look at it using the formula that we talked about earlier. V is equal to B, where B is the area of our base, times the height. Well, the base of this prism is a rectangle. Okay, now let's talk about that base. If we were to write that base by itself, and this is a way that I usually teach my students to look at it. Let's draw the base by itself and put in the measurements or dimensions given. This is our base. How do I find the area of that base? Well, that is a rectangle, so the area is equal to the base times the height. The base is 2 and the height is 1, so that's going to be 2 inches squared. This 2 is going to go into our formula where you see B. So V is equal to 2 inches squared times the height of our prism. And our prism's height, in other words, how many stacks of my base do I have on top of each other to make my entire prism? Well, that height is going to be 4 inches. And so 4 times 2 is 8 cubic inches. Now, let's talk about this when we're talking about triangular prisms. Here we have been given a triangular prism. Once you identify that it is a triangular prism, what is the base or the shape of the base of triangular prisms? Well, the shape of their bases are triangles. So go ahead and identify the triangles in your triangular prism. This is going to be the triangle or the base of my triangular prism. Okay? Now, pay very close attention to the fact that your triangular prism is not actually sitting on the triangle. It's sitting on a different side. However, that doesn't change the fact that the base of the prism is still a triangle. It's just laying on its side. So what I encourage you to do is to draw the base by itself and include all of the dimensions that have been given in the problem. Okay, now we know what the base is. Remember the formula for finding the volume of a prism? It's V is equal to the area of the base times the height. Now, the reason I've drawn the base by itself is because we need to figure out what is its area, and we can plug that in to the equation where we see B. Okay, now we know that the shape of our base is a triangle, so the formula for finding the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base of the triangle times the height. That's 1/2. The base of our triangle is 4, and the height of our triangle is 2 meters. When we do our calculations here, we'll find that the area is going to be 4 meters squared, or square meters. This 4 is our B in our formula. So let's go ahead and plug it in. V is equal to 4 meters squared times the height of our prism. Now take a look at our prism again. Remember, our prism isn't actually sitting on its base, it's sitting on its side. So if our prism was sitting on its base, or on the triangular faces, it would be 7 meters tall. okay? So that will be the height of our prism, 7 meters. Now, all you have to do is plug these values into your calculator or in your mind. 7 times 4 is 28 meters cubed.